Hey everyone, today we are going to see how we can convert Pentaho transformation to Talend jobs using our conversion tool. Now, before moving on to the demo, I just wanted to walk through to what mappings we are going to convert in this demo. Our converter tool can convert multiple mappings at the same time, but for the purpose of this demo, we have used these four mappings which we are going to convert today. First is a city type 2 mappings, which reads from multiple source and then loads it to the multiple targets. Then we have this mapping here, which reads from a flat file and then loads it to a database target. Then we have this mapping here, which reads from a source, transforms it, and then loads it into another database target. Now, here the source and the targets are from different databases. Lastly, we have this mapping, which reads from a source, transforms it, and then loads it into a target. Here, the source and the target are both from the same databases. So this type of mapping is best suitable to be converted into an ELT mapping. Now, what does ELT means? We will see that in a few minutes. Now, once you have all of the jobs, the first step is to export the job in KTR format. For that, let's go to File, Export it, and save the file in KTR format. Now, for the purpose of this demo, I have already saved these 4 files. Once you have all of the files, you are ready to use our conversion platform. So this is our conversion platform. Our conversion platform is a browser-based UI with Python in the backend. The first step is to select our source legacy system, that is Pentaho to Talend. Next, we need the path where we have our export. For this, copy this path and paste it over here. Next, the path where you want your Talend generated code. For that, let's give it this path and let's make a folder Talend code. Now, Talend workspace paths. This is only needed if there are dependencies within the job we want to convert. We don't have that here, so this input doesn't matter and we can provide any value. Let's give it this value. Lastly, we have Talend project name. This is where the conversion platform will create importable Talend project. Let's give it Pentaho conversion. Now, as Chris talked about, the first part of the converter is analyzer. We have these two options here, analyze and convert. Click on analyze. As you can see, an analysis report is created at the same path where we have a legacy code within analysis subfolder. Let's click on done and let's see the analysis report. Now, the analysis report provides us with the path of the export analyzed. It also provides the list of all the files and which workflows it has, how many sessions or rather subjobs it has. Moving on to the session details, it provides you with a list of jobs for each session and whether or not they are ELT compatible. Now, what does ELT compatible means? So, Talend support two types of jobs, ETL and ELT. ETL is where it reads data from various sources, processes it on runtime engines and writes it to the target. Whereas ELT is where it converts the logic within the job into SQL queries, pushes it to the database and executes it using the database resources. So this is for obvious reasons much faster to process. Moving on to mapping details. This gives you the list of transformations, whether they are supported or not, and what would they get converted into, and what is their complexity. Lastly, we have complexity details. It gives you an aggregate count for different complexities. For example, we have two mappings with simple complexity, a mapping with medium complexity, and a mapping with high complexity. This analysis report helps you to estimate the time and cost for the conversion effort, and it also tells you which mappings will need manual interventions to get production ready. Now that we have seen the analyzer, let's move back to our UI and click on convert. So these are the two jobs that are ELT compatible. Let's select this one to be LT and click on submit. And as you can see, all of the jobs have been converted successfully. Now let's go back to the path which we gave. This was the part that we gave, right? As you can see, the Talend importable project has been created. Now all you need to do is import this code. For that, go to Talend and import the files. Browse the path where you have generated the code. Select the folder, and these are the 4 files that we converted. Select all of them and click on finish. Here all of the files have been imported. Now you have to generate them one by one. All the generated jobs will be present inside the standard folder. Now let me show you this job, which is emmed with customer SCD. This job is an SCD type 2 job with SQL sources, tmaps, and targets. They are some of the best practices that our conversion platform follows, like using reusable connection and closing the connection at the end of the load. Similarly, let me show you this job, which is mload stg SQL server, which was an ELT compatible job, and we selected it to be an ELT job. As you can see, it has been converted into an ELT job with ELT input, ELT output, and TELT map. Now, for the job to be ELT compatible within Talend, there are certain criteria that it needs to meet. This was the only job that met those criteria and got converted into an ELT job. This was the conversion part. But once you have your legacy code converted into Talend, the next step would be to ensure that all the conversions that you have done actually matches the specifications, right? This is where the tool also comes with test jobs. For example, here we have 5 test jobs. These 5 test jobs are for 5 different databases. Let's open this one. What these test jobs do is that they start reading from each target table, and then we run the job and we compare and ensure transformation logic is working as expected. Another thing that you might have noticed is that these 2 text files over here. These files provide a list of particular jobs that tells us that this is the target, this is the job, and this is the key. So what you can do with these files is that just provide this file over here, and it will automatically start running these jobs and testing them from the current data to the next data. These jobs are highly reusable and parameterized. These jobs don't need to be generated. All you need to do is import these jobs and use these generated flat files as sources. It will run and it will provide you with details whether or not the output files which we compare matches or not. Thus, it will help you with faster QA and verification of your migrated code. So that's all from my side. This brings us to the end of the demo. Thank you everyone.